Alright, I've been out in the studio for the first time in a long time, just trying to get the Zoom MRS-8 Multitrack recording studio. Just trying to figure out how it works. So I did a bit of recording with some pedals and the blue mini guitar and the big old green fella. Alright, I just wanted to upload a little video to remind myself how to use this, basically, now that I've figured out just the basics, not all of it. I'm sort of ignoring the rhythm section. I'm really just plugging some things in, recording them to a track, and then moving on and adding tracks, and then that's basically all I'm doing at the moment. But there's a bit to it, so let's have a little rundown. So I've got a project. Let's go new project, which is this button in the middle. New project. It's just setting that up. Okay, what do you want to call it? Project 07. You can go through and choose the different characters and spin around like this. Choose the different things. I think there's like some symbols and then capital letters and then small letters, and you can just keep spinning. There's those ones, blah blah blah. So do that till you're happy. If you want a blank ones, you can spin way back to the far left and you'll get rid of those characters. Let's call it Yeet, YT. Okay, then you hit enter and it goes, no worries, working on that for you. So it's setting up a little blank project. I guess we can also start off by going like this. So we've got the rhythm track. Maybe we won't use that at all. So I guess the first thing you do is, if you hit this, you can go to arm or playback or mute. So let's go arm. This will control how much we're hearing it, I believe, as well. So if we say this, I believe just sort of means it's record enabled. So if we hit this button, that means we'll hear what's coming in. Let's use our drum machine here. Hopefully not too loud. I've just got it going through the speakers here. The volume's obviously back here, and instead of headphones, I've got it going out to some little speakers over there. Okay, so the volume knob's there. Let's turn it about half, and we've got our input source coming in the back into this one, and you can set it to line in or mic in. Let's set it to line in because we're coming. Let's set it to line in because we're coming from a drum machine, and when we go to guitar, we put it over here. So leave it on mic line, and you can also hit mic, and it'll use this built-in microphone. But let's go. We'll use the line in. There we go. So we've got the 606 drum machine here. It's a bit quiet, so although you can see here that the level's coming in okay, but we can twiddle the dial here to get more or less of it. Maybe we'll. Okay, so that's coming in 1. If we go like this, that's just showing what's coming through the track already, but so we can hit that and say no, we don't want that to be coming in that source, and that's how to say you want to use channel 2, which we're not using. Okay, so let's go 1, record enable, so we can see that. Okay, so now we're at 0, 0, 0. So let's just go. Let's stop this for now. That button's very dodgy. Let's go. You can also control. If you go to like, see, if I go play, we'll get a count in. I didn't hear it for some reason. There's also a beat happening there, but we can just ignore that, I guess, by keeping it off. Why didn't we get a count in then? Anyway, we can go. Oh, I guess because I pressed play, not record. So now it's moved along, so let's hit this back to 0. You can also go 1 second at a time by pressing these or just holding it down. Let's go 0. That's the one I use most of the time because it just goes back to the start. And let's go record play. Hold down record. There's the count in. You can turn that off if you want. We're not really using it because we're just using a drum machine as the speed. So it's recording, just starts at 10 seconds. I guess I would just use this as the count in. You could even have a pattern set up to just go or something. So we're doing that. Let's pretend we've finished the song now. So we'll just hit, well, I guess maybe we'll, boom, that's the end of the song. So let's press stop. It has a little think while it just finishes up. Sometimes that takes longer, I guess, if you've recorded a longer track or something. Okay, so I would now disarm the track because we don't want to record over that one. Let's also, we can turn off the input if we want for now. Okay, so it doesn't rewind automatically, so if you hit play, it'll play from where it's up to, as you can see, and you can hit rewind, rewind, rewind. Oh, I think you have to press stop to do that. So you can see there, rewind, rewind, it's doing like 1 second every time we hit rewind. If we hit play, there it is coming in track 1. You can mix it. And see, if you don't touch a slider, it uses the value that it was kind of on previously, but once you touch it, it overrides it. So when you first start up a track, if you like load in a different project and hit play, it doesn't really matter where these are. It'll use like the memory, the memorized fader positions. But if you then touch them, you want to, it overrides them. Now we can, you can see we can't, just going to turn that down. We can't record enable this while it's in play mode, so it's just on off, mute, you know, mute, not mute. So if we hit stop, we can go, okay, that's sounding good, let's return to 0, put it back to the start of the track. Let's record enable this now that it was stopped, and we can sort of make sure that the input's turned on so we can hear it, and this will control sort of what we're hearing it as, and we're ready to plug in, you know, plug in the guitar now. You know, send your guitar through your pedals or whatever, stick it in here, and it's now ready to record over. So on that note, you can also go track parameters. Now it's sort of in a different mode. This goes orange to show what track we're playing with, and you can go through like, do I want to boost the EQ high, up or down? You can go like this, like plus or negative, and if you go up or down with these, you can see the different parameters here. So you can go down to see what's the actual frequency for that high, which is like 8 kilohertz, whatever. There's the EQ low, gain and frequency. There's effects send, how much you're sending to the effects, and if you press left and right, you'll go through the different tracks, so you can quickly change the effects send value for each track without sort of having to go in and out of this mode. So for example, with the beat, you can do this while you're playing as well. We could go, we could send it to the effects send, although I haven't played with the effects yet, so I can't really say much about that. But for example, the pan, you can go, okay, let's pan it hard left, let's pan it hard right, or whatever, and you can mix your song by doing that. You know, you can do that. You can press these as well to say, okay, I want to edit the pan of track 2, I want to edit the pan of 5, 6. You can also, and if you go down further, I'll look at that in a sec actually, you can also change the fader here, but you may as well change the fader with this, but it works both ways. What you can also do that I found useful is, okay, so let's press stop, let's press 0, now we're still in this track parameter mode, you can see it's orange, so let's press exit, and those changes are all kept. Now we're going to record guitar on track 2. What you can do is, if you go track parameters, you can see that this one here is called the V-take. So this is the virtual take. So you can do a take on a channel and it automatically uses like virtual take 1, which here you can see it basically, the 1 there means it's track 1, and there's no data on it because we haven't recorded. Oh yeah, I was going to say I was wondering why it said 6-1, but it's because I had this one selected over here. So if we go back to 2, you can see it's track 2, take 1, no data. And if we go in there, say we go stop, exit to get out of this track editing thing. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go record play. Now you can see we're recording on track 2. Now let's just play some more drums in there for fun. Let's do this one. So you can hear we're adding that in. So let's pretend that was a guitar. Okay, now let's go stop. Just pressing stop. Let's stop this. Okay, so we've now recorded onto track 2 as well. Now we might go, oh, that was cool, that had some good bits in it, but I don't want to keep that one, but I want to maybe be able to come back and listen to it. You can go, okay, track parameters, and you can see we're already in this virtual take, which is like one of the 6th thing or whatever. Take 1, you can go, okay, let's flip it over to take 2, which you can see there's no data on it, and then you just hit exit, and you're like, cool, like now we're on a blank track again. We've still got virtual take 1 tucked away behind the scenes, but now we can do virtual take 2. So if we hit play, and let's turn down the drum beat. If we hit play, you won't hear that virtual take 1 because it's like sort of tucked behind the scenes. And if we hit record play, and we can actually like punch in or drop in while it's still playing, we could add, so that's at 40 seconds. Let's stop that. So now let's go stop. And if we go just back up a few seconds, sorry, wrong button, this one. Backing up to here, let's press play. There it is. Let's go back a few more seconds. There it is. So we're hearing virtual take 2. Now if we go back to the track parameters, we're still looking at the virtual take part. We can flip it back to take 1 if we want, and now hit exit and press play. I don't think we recorded that long on virtual take 1. Let's go back a bit. Not hearing it, but I may have. There it is, back near the start. So that's virtual take 1. Now we can go track parameters. We're still in virtual takes, so let's go back to virtual take 2, press exit, press play, and if we actually go up to about 40 seconds, there it is. So we can go track parameters. Let's do another virtual take. Now it's take 3. You can only do 10 in total, but let's go exit. So now let's go back to 38 seconds or so. This is a blank track again. We're not listening to virtual take 1 or 2, we're listening to virtual take 3. So you can do a few different takes, and then basically what I was doing before is I just ended on the last one that I I just kept the final one that I liked, but I had the other ones as backups, or you could go back and listen to them. So that was kind of cool. When you're done with that, you can just go to the next one. You can adjust your level, or probably even like come in through input 2 if you want, which is that the other one where you can go XLR or a normal jack cable, and that's balanced as well. Or you could go back here and use the built-in mic and record an acoustic guitar or some singing or something by pressing that button. So let's turn all them off. So we've record enabled this one. What else was I going to say? So yeah, you can go through and mix it and do the panning and potentially some EQing and effects sends there. When you are going in as well, say we want to turn this on and we had a guitar plugged in, you can also, this button here is the insert effect, which you can use an effect while you're playing in. So that's off, bypass, because it's not lit, or it's a tuner as well. And if you want it while that's off, you can hit enter, as it says up there. See, it says tuner, hit enter. So you can hit enter, now you're in tuner mode, and you can just tune up with your guitar, and it sort of indicates what note it is and whether to go down or up to get it right. And when you're done with that, you can just hit exit again, and you're back to this sort of normal insert mode with no effects. If you hit insert effect, you can now pick your effects with this thing, and there's a few categories. So there's clean, distortion, acoustic or bass simulation, with like you can plug in your electric guitar and have it simulate a bass because it sort of drops the octave, or bass, which is good for when you plug your bass in and you want it to sort of emulate a bit of a bass amp vibe. Vocals, or like mic settings, line settings for synths and stuff, dual mic, and mastering. So back to the start, clean. So say you're looking to clean, the first one's called standard, and that sort of affects the signal a bit. If you actually flip to the left, it's an empty slot, and that's sort of almost like it's being turned off. But you can save your own settings into these empty ones. If you toggle to the right, you'll go through the various presets: standard, J chorus, phaser, dry compression, various things. If we press up, we can go through the distortion settings like rectifier, blah blah blah, Fender Tweed, go up again. You can go through these acoustic sims and stuff, and so you can go through and plug something in and listen. Like you can hear what they all sound like, and then hit record when you're ready, and it'll record that onto the track. I think there's settings where you can change where that comes into the signal chain, but that's probably the default behavior, is just to record what you can hear onto there. So I haven't played with the effect send for when you're mixing. You can send channels through some type of effects chain as well, but I haven't done that. But yeah, they're the basic functionality for, I guess, if you're just using it as like kind of like a 4-track tape cassette recorder, you can basically record, enable these. It's kind of nice that you don't have to do any toggling to get the input signal. It just basically goes wherever you've armed it. Hold down record and play to record it. Press stop when you're done. You can go back to the start with this, or sort of toggle through with these second by second. This is sort of used if you go into track parameter mode. You can edit these parameters by going up and down, and left and right takes you through the different tracks, or I think you can go like this to do that as well. And you just press exit to get back out to default mode. This is your input settings, and you can go in here and also mess when you're in the default state. You can yeah, so you press that again to get into this mode where you're going through your insert effects. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And at the end, I think you can sort of get it all going on. Set these, you can press these twice to sort of get back through to green. You can go record, enable the master, and then record play, and it'll record all these down to the master track, which I haven't actually fully gone through that yet, but I think then I could pull my SD, like turn it off, pull my SD card out, take it to my computer, and hopefully just find amongst all the files that master track, which should be what I bounce down. And I believe it'll do a live mix for you, where if I don't want this to come in and, you know, until 1 minute or something, I can press play, record, it's all recording to the master, and I can fade this in, or I could like make a solo a bit louder and bring it back down, and I think that performance would all record across to the master. Yet to try that out. So there's a bit to get your head around, but that's mainly to remind me how to use it next time I go to use it. Because yeah, you do kind of have to remember how these different things work.